Okay, we're here with Chef Gene Gonzalez, CEO of CACS, the only time awardee for culinary arts, and an icon in Philippine gastronomy. Thank you for gracing us with your presence, Chef, on Sabaw podcast.
Yeah, thank you for featuring people in my field, and thank you for making me the first that you're featuring.
Yeah, we thought about it, and it's like we're named Sabaw and we don't have a chef yet. That seems like a
Oh,
big oversight.
we're kind of abundant right now, and there's a lot of talent, new talent out there.
Absolutely. Chef, you famously said that national cuisine takes more than just national consciousness. Do you view cooking as a kind of assertion of national identity?
Yes, it you know the fame of a cuisine, of a country's cuisine, will show you how strong the national identity of a people will be. And it is only now that people are getting their act together, that the social media, the infrastructure of travel, Instagram, Facebook, these are all responsible for getting us conscious of what our neighbors are eating. Before, we used to be so heavily regionalistic. People would say, "Oh, wag kang kakain yan kasi pagkain ng mga pigs yan. Oh, wag kang kakain yan kasi hindi okay ang pagkain yan kasi kumakain ng mga aso yan." Right now, it's a lot of people travel. They have access to inexpensive lodging and travel, and they get to try what the regions are. It's very difficult for the Philippines to put together a national cuisine. I'm not saying it's not possible, but we're taking really great strides now. But we should have done this so many years ago. But I think social media has a lot to do with it, because we're 7,000 plus islands. Each and every island will have let's say, if you're coastal, will have a version of a type of ginataan for coconut milk cooking. But they will all have different versions, but they will have the same name. You will have to find out the intricacies and the how would you call it? What makes the town cuisine different from the other towns, and that's what's exciting when people travel. Before, you would go to a town and they'd say, "Where's a place to eat food here?" Oh, they'll point you to a place that serves fried chicken, serves steak or spaghetti, pancit canton, all in one, wrapped all in one. Well, the chains have done that already, so they don't have to point us to these restaurants anymore. Kasi they're embarrassed. They think that what they eat ordinarily every day at home, I've experienced that. Kasi sabihin sa'yo, "Gusto mo yan?"
Ay, kasi ordinary.
Oh,
yan.
gusto mo yan? Ano lang yan? Ordinaryo lang sa amin. Di nga pinapansin yan eh. But this is what makes the town or the barangay special. And I've attended a lot of exciting stuff where I've seen really people want to show what they have. I've attended a kakanin competition.
Wow. Okay.
Sponsored by Don Ado Escudero. They did it in Chaong, Quezon. And, people became creative. People also showed what's traditional. This is what we should be having, side by side. There should be, preservation.
Do you view it, ito pong, like the contest specifically, and then there's international attention on our cuisine now. Like our ube is like being remade in so many ways. What are your thoughts on that?
Way back, I did an ube vichyssoise soup that I introduced in New York when I did a festival there. And the quality of the ube that I got, which is from the Filipino store, is even better because it's export quality than what we can have here ordinarily. But what I'm saying is, the world is watching our islands. The world is watching us now. We can't afford to miss this. You know, right now, when everybody is watching us in the arena, we can't afford to lose or miss. Just miss this. We've got to put our acts together. Now, we need politicians that are foodies, or we need politicians to be aware. One challenge I did in one of my talks was, can we almanac our specialties, because we're 7,000 plus islands. Once you almanac your specialties, people know what to eat. People know what to do. Once you put that in
Just
file.
document lang.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this has to be on the local government level. They can't just keep on taking pictures and, you know, and then lalaya sila. They have to be very serious about what they have, because that's how travelers can connect. You just don't see the sights. We missed it, di ba? Dati, ang mga ibang countries, they would always boast about their specialties. Aside from their beautiful sights, tayo puro beautiful sights. Kailangan may specialties. And if you explain to a foreigner very well what the cooking is or what, then they will try it. Even balut. I've had, although balut is not unique to the Philippines, but what is unique to the Philippines is how we eat the balut. Especially if you go to Mindanao, they're very serious about the balut there. They have 14, 16, and 18 days. You choose how big the chick you want. Galing eh. But they will eat if you just explain to them. And probably, you know, you make them eat it in the dark.
Parang, okay, puputak na pala siya. Pwede nang ganun. Chef, can you take us back a bit? You were in banking, and then you hurdled so much when you transitioned into cooking. Looking back, did you think it would be this big? Did you make it this big?
I wanted to be somewhat like your parang Michelin star chef na, you know, you have one place, you take care of it, you focus all your energies on that. But it's not my time. It's not my time.
How so?
There was a time when I knew everybody that would go to my little restaurant. Cafe Ysabel was an 11-table affair.
Yeah.
And then eventually, I had to think also of my family. So eventually, I had 9 theme restaurants, all operating on different themes. But it was very costly to everything, my health, my relationships, everything. Eventually, I had people apprenticing under me. There were a lot of HRM students that wanted to apprentice, and I decided to professionalize, and I opened the school. And now I'm sharing what I've learned, and I'm also sharing my experiences with the other instructors who themselves are also sharing it with the students. And I think this is more than, you know, the honor of getting 1 Michelin star. Kasi hawkers get a Michelin star too. Being honored by your country, to me, was the big thing. And I made a promise that, you know, I'll be there when Filipino cuisine rises up. Being, you know, given the TOIM award, and you know,
leveraging your fame, siguro.
And I've been pushing, especially with my cookbooks. I'm trying to see if I'll get another one, but I have 3 World Gourmand Awards for 3 of my books. These are all Filipino themes. But it's fun because like my book on tropical cocktails, I'm not a chef. I'm not a bartender. I'm not a mixologist, but I got a citation for this. And this was the inspiration was all my drunken moments in Boracay with my two kids, you know. We'd come home after a house, with Gino and Janina. We'd come home after a house party, a big, DJ thing, and we'll be how would you call it? We'll be sprawling on the sand, trying to get desperately back home and trying to take out that hangover. But all of this was inspiration for all the cocktails that I put in the book.
So daily life lang pala yan sa inyo, chef?
Parang but there's a lot of things that have to be done. We have to document historical recipes.
Yeah.
Because we have nothing to look back to if we want to develop and move our cuisine forward.
Speaking about that, chef, like you held a seminar on that, I think, and a talk on that. Do you view preserving those cuisines not only for historical purposes but also for the next generation to riff on?
It will be very shallow if you try to say, I'm going to do a Filipino recipe using Filipino ingredients. You have to have the classical or the traditional backbone. And you can only refer to the past and then go forward in the present. Very much like classical music. All these rock stars, you just check their CVs, and you'll see they're graduates of Juilliard,
Exactly.
graduates of whatever prestigious school. This is what I've been harping about. Let's preserve our heritage, our traditional recipes. The new chefs and the chefs at present that are making waves right now can look back at this.
There's a point in your career when you were kind of hailed as the local Anthony Bourdain. Is that
How would you say it?
you think it's
Bourdain,
warranted?
local Anthony Bourdain. Bourdain is a superstar. I've met him. I've had lunch and merienda with the guy. His writing and his talking skills are very good. He even admits that his cooking skills are not really that great. But he lived on traditional French cookery, and that's what I feel that's parallel, But how would you say it? I would like to be known more as someone who wants to be one of the guardians, one of the pushers of Pinoy cuisine, advocates, yeah.
Do you think? Do you feel that your work with Cafe Ysabel or more as a teacher, which one gives you more fulfillment nowadays? Or is
I
it
had to
just
start
like-
somewhere, which is why I kept Cafe Ysabel. And I'm keeping Cafe Ysabel because of for the love of my work. I would have just wanted to just continue with the school.
Oh.
But
At what point po yun?
when they said that the lease would expire already, and my kid said that's gonna shorten your life. So I said, yeah, fine.
Okay. Ituloy pa rin.
Tuloy pa rin natin.
Well, looking back on it, was it bittersweet? Tapos go, no go, at what point na po?
I wanted to stop.
You wanted to stop.
I wanted to stop and just teach. But then again, a lot of people, a lot of people came in, a lot of drama there are people crying there in
Wow.
Cafe Ysabel, couples would come in, have me sign their wedding albums because that's where dun daw siya sinagot. or dun daw sila kinasal. Some of them even had their first kids baptized there. There's so many things that have happened. And
Plus you had that billion
and so many
table po.
billion peso table, daming deals doon. From Gary V,
Wow.
Vilma Santos, Nora Honor, name it.
So
Gary,
yun nga po, changing the course of Philippine
Richard
history
Gomez.
nasa table na yun.
Oh, yun. Ang daming ano, that table can talk.
Did you keep that in?
Yes. I'm going to bring that out sa next Cafe Ysabel. Anyway, the furniture will be intact. And there's going to be a lot of pieces of Cafe Ysabel that they'll see.
Okay.
Although Cafe Ysabel is a 1912 house, we were able to get a 1919 house. About that era.
Okay. You've taught karate for 12 years then. How do you combine your two disciplines, like with technique and timing? Is that, do you endeavor to combine them?
Basically it's focus. It's learning how to focus, which what the Japanese call kime. When you do something, there has to be focus, and you put all your energies on that focus. There's also a lot of principles like no-mindedness.
Yeah, that's it.
When you act on something, sometimes it has to be. You can't rationalize too much, but you have to just look at where you're going and then focus on that. That's all. There has to be a principle of no-mindedness. If not, if you keep on thinking about all the steps, you're just going to get confused. So there's a lot of things that I learned from Karate Do. Also, it was quite good that I started early because I had the responsibility of working part-time. And yeah, I taught for 11 years.
Yeah. Did you pick up other martial arts po along the way?
Along the way, I got to confer with masters, certain masters on their martial arts. It was a very, how would you call it? It's enlightening to find out their views also on what they have in their martial arts.
Let's talk about looking forward. You've already mentioned that we have a short period in time where we can make it as a dominant cuisine internationally. What do you think we should do po? And do you have like predictive forecast on how we should do it?
Well,
How we're gonna do stuff like that?
one is to have a lot of during the fiestas or fairs to showcase what the barangay, the town, or whatever
Yung locality.
the locality has. Then also they're doing it. They're inviting all these big names to grace and to judge and to try and sample. They're also inviting a lot of the writers, and also they're inviting a lot of the bloggers. This helps. This truly helps. And there are some very creative minds that have opened up progressive Filipino restaurants. And
When does it go too far po? I mean the fusion stuff. Do you think there's anything we should stay away from?
yeah, I think we should look at our ingredients. I think the basic thing to do is to be knowledgeable with all the ingredients that we have all around the Philippines. That way, we don't need to have the confusion of fusion. Diba? Kasi some will go, eto, Filipino, French, Filipino, Japanese. It's nice. Every now and then, yes, why not? But to produce something pure and something that is indigenous is quite different. It's
Unique po talaga.
yes. I just came from Jensan,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, so it's a tuna capital and all that. But I became more aware of what children and what old people would forage and grow and eat that grows wild. And I said, this is possible. These things are possible if we were to cultivate it. Oh, eye-opening. So now, lagi ako nakatingin dun sa mga lost vegetables, lost forage fruits. And
What do they do?
I'm trying to plant as much as I can sa Cafe Ysabel, sa bagong Cafe Ysabel, of all these old, I would try to bring it back so that we can, we can use it every now and then. But I'm looking at what the natives in that locality are doing.
It's like social, culinary Darwinism.
Oh,
Sure. You want to pass that? Okay. Let's get back a bit. Your struggles as an entrepreneur, as a beginning entrepreneur, do they stack up against your battle with cancer?
yeah, it was kind of costly. It was kind of costly. It really burned a hole in my pocket. But I guess I was given a chance. Maybe the Lord was really good because when a doctor tells you, I'm sorry,
Yun yung bunga ko.
yun ang sinabi sa akin eh.
First time ko. The first time.
Hindi. Sinabi sa akin nung nag-interpret nung bone scan ko, I'm sorry. I said, shit. Parang, di ba? Parang it's bad. When a doctor tells you, I'm sorry, that means there's no other recourse. So, I don't wanna tell people that who are not personal to me that, there's something miraculous that happened. I mean, people are gonna say, who are you to be given a miracle? But I know deep inside that there is a purpose why I'm still alive. There's a purpose that every time I take that test, it zeroes out. So, yeah, there's still a purpose. And I'm still going through that dream or that vision of, my vision, I told my children, is to have one scholar in every batch of every class that we have. But that's going to take some time. It's going to take some time, especially after the battle with cancer and all the I'm glad that we had the ability to
Cure it.
to pay.
Oh, there you go.
No, kasi if
It's costly.
yeah, it's costly. So that's still my dream. That's still my dream. Right now,
Subsidize niyo po yung school.
lahat ng mga employees namin na matatagal, their children, can go here to my school for free.
Wow.
But that's the start.
Okay. Well, we recently spoke kasi to a cancer survivor and she said that you really needed to adjust not only your lifestyle but also your thinking to survive that cancer.
Thinking siguro, pero lifestyle,
Are you still on the same life?
Did you change your
no, I'm enjoying scotch and wine tasting.
Yeah.
Wala namang sinabi sa akin yung doktor eh. But yeah, I'm a little careful on certain things, but there's a purpose. There's really a
And
purpose.
it's pretty self-evident. And we're really glad you made it through. And you're like, do you feel healthy? Do you feel like there's nothing really that much wrong nowadays? Let's talk about the future of Cafe Ysabel. Saan po lilipat? Ano po yung plans nyo? Yung mga po ba bago sa menu? Stuff like that.
Okay. We're good for another 10 years.
Wow!
We're good for another 10 years because I signed the long-term lease. So, Cafe Ysabel will move forward. But we're not changing the menu because people get very emotional about the classics that we are serving. So just to add a touch of creativity and get the people working in the kitchen and the students who are doing on-the-job training in the kitchen, then I'm going to blackboard some items. We'll have some creative items that will change every week or every 2 weeks, depending on what's available.
Specials na po yun.
I've been very, very detailed with the construction because I want to try to still, people rediscovered it as one of the most romantic places as dubbed by the netizens, no? And it's going to be one of the most romantic places again. Guaranteed to. Yun lang nga, medyo malaki talaga yung expenses na.
Is it bigger? The place is bigger?
It's bigger, and the renovation of the house really is taking a lot of time. I'm actually buying all the materials myself.
Kaya pala sabi niyo nga po, construction, kayo?
Oh. Binibili ko yung materials kasi gusto ko hanggang up to the last tile nandun siya.
So you're very detail-oriented pagdating sa ganun to?
Will the price points of the menu items be the same?
No, I don't think they'll deviate that far. If ever, food is expensive in our country.
Yeah.
I would rather, there's the soup that I went, because of my French training, I did an ube soup. And I introduced it, circa 1989, 1990? And it's a vichyssoise. Instead of potato, I used ube. I used ube and pandan. And then later on, towards the 90s, I served it on a buko shell,
Absolutely looking forward to that.
where you could scoop out the buko. And it was very well accepted.
Chef,
I think the critics in New York,
question for us.
I was kind of daring. I'm
parang ang daming
for a Kapampangan to introduce also items like inabraw in a New York restaurant. Someone even liked the anchovy so much, the bagoong, the sauce. They asked for bread. I said, okay, that suits you. Normally we'd eat that with rice, but if you like bread, okay. Yung bagoong isda na nilalagay sa inabraw, parang ganon. It's a start. Just like Bicol cuisine. Si Joey Salceda, si congressman, he said, I want you to man the Bicol booth. He went to Cafe Ysabel about a couple of years ago. Tapos sabi ko sa kanya, hey, I'm Kapampangan. I'm not Bicolano. No, I know you're going to do a good job. Will you say yes? I said yes. And then they brought my team to Bicol. We stayed there for about 2 or 3 weeks. And we had everything about Bicol cuisine. And then we came back. And I told Joey, let's pair it off with wine. Let's make it international. So he said, nagulat siya kasi that's become my line. Wine appreciation. It worked. For the first Madrid Fusion.
Ayun yung Madrid Fusion.
Yung unang-unang Madrid Fusion, the attention was grabbed by the Bicol booth.
Thank you, Chef. Is there anybody, are there people you'd like to thank? Like, just give a message, like, for your school, Cafe Ysabel.
Well, yeah, we would like to invite you. We'd like to invite you, especially to our newest branch, which is CACS Angeles, Pampanga. We just opened, and it's a beautiful school. We have very nice facilities there. Sana tangkilikin talaga natin sariling atin na pagluluto at pagkain. Yan ang importante sa pagiging Pilipino natin.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yay.